Hello everyone and welcome to a deck profile for Enel. Today we got Marcus here.
What's up, y'all?
And you know, he's running the Enel. He's been very successful with this list. You want to tell him how you've been doing?
So I've only played this specific list twice. The first time I played it, I went second place, and then the most recent time I went first place. This deck has a lot of potential. It's only going to get better as well with all the upcoming sets, especially OP-01 gives it a lot more support.
Do you think the Sakazuki band's also going to help out?
Honestly, personally, I don't really find the black matchup too difficult. I haven't played specifically into Sakazuki, let alone I've played more Moria. But I definitely think Sakazuki leaving the battlefield makes this deck a lot stronger.
Nice. So what would you say your hardest matchup is?
Kind of a random pick here, but probably red, purple, law. And probably any red deck, honestly. And then of course the yellow mirror.
You think even red Zoro is hard?
I haven't played it enough, but I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be too difficult. If you can just clear bodies or just get a bunch of swings early as possible and rush Enel down, I feel like, and if your triggers aren't the best, I think you can get rushed down with red.
Okay.
But specifically the red, purple, law just does the same thing. A lot of bodies quick and clears my board at the same time.
All right, well, you want to go ahead and get into the profile?
Yeah, sure. So we'll start off with the first one here. The first character, we have 4 Onamis here. It's a 2 cost. Give one of your characters a leader banish. I'll move this over here. And then trigger KO 5 cost, which is probably the main thing you're going to use it for in this profile. But you can also get your leader banish early, or your big moms or your Yamato's banish, which can be handy, especially in the yellow matchup. I've seen me using the banish a lot more recently.
Do you run the 8-drop Katakuri and on a 10-don turn play this and then Katakuri it to life?
Sometimes I will, but most of the time I honestly go for the Hiyori play.
So you can get like double heal?
Double heal, basically, or stack my life and heal. Most of the time this Onami isn't... Hardly this card is in my hand at the end game, because I'll see it off a trigger, pop something, or I'll use it early for a banish.
Okay.
Most of the time just counter, because it's a 1k as well. Then for our next card, 2 Brûlé. I just don't have Sanji's. If this was a Sanji, it'd probably be better. Because the only reason Brûlé is better than Sanji is that you don't have to discard cards. But I think with Enel, you don't really care about hand advantage because you're discarding all your cards at the end. I'll always keep at least 2 cards in my hand when I pass my turn for the case of a Maru here or any other discard trigger.
Because they're like, basically, like, because your effect is free anyway.
Right. So, because if I get an Amaru here, discard 2, I get 2 life.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And that's the only reason I say Sanji's okay in this, or better than Brûlé, because discarding card does not hurt, and you get that 5k body. And this Brûlé lost me the red-purple match, because if I had Sanji, I had that game against red-purple law, because he couldn't bottom deck it for free. But I had the Brûlé, he just bottom decks it.
Yeah.
So, definitely, personal tech changes to Sanji's, but Brûlé's also work. So, yeah. And also, Pudding can also search Sanji, so Brûlé has nothing over Sanji. Then one of the new OP-07 cards we got, I'm running 4 Kikinojos. Amazing card. Amazing card. Going first, or going second, you get it on curve. Trigger, you can play this card if your opponent has 3 or less, and then on KO, if your opponent has 3 or less life, you gain a life.
Do you prefer to go second, or...?
I honestly prefer to go first.
First? Okay.
Yeah, because for this next card right here, I like to see Gadatsu on curve.
Yes.
Because this card, honestly, in my opinion, made yellow so much better because it gave yellow a valid removal early on. Because before in set 3, you only had Katakuri really for removal, and that was at late game. Gadatsu having an early game removal is just amazing, and it establishes a 6k body. Reason I prefer this card so much.
Nice.
And then this card right here, I don't play this card usually, but for the trigger, it's amazing Shirahoshi. Lets you cycle your cards.
It's effectively like a searcher. Right,
and I don't run searchers in this deck list, so this helps to actually see the cards I need. And because I run a scatter of cards, like I run Big Mom, Skypian, Land of Wano, so I can't really run all those searchers. This lets me see everything.
Did you have to ever hard play this card in your tournaments?
If I don't see Gadatsu, yes. And if I like open a hand with all no counters and all big bodies, most of the time I'll keep it. Depending on who I'm fighting, I'll Shirahoshi, and then pray I see Katakuri later in the game to put this back in life.
Okay.
So, yeah, amazing trigger, by the way. And then I have a one-off here. I'm not too sure I feel about this, but the one-off Momonosuke blocker. honestly, I don't know how much I like it. It can come up to put your Kikinojos back in life. To just, you swing Kikinojo, play Momonosuke, get a blocker or an attacker, and heal a life. I only run one of it because there's never times where I like want it, but if I see it, I use it. And I think one is fine. You can also sub this out for another Sanji blocker. I'm just trying out the one Momonosuke. And it's helped. That's about it for Momonosuke, not much to say.
I was gonna say, he is also a 1-up, so if you see him, you see him, right?
Yeah, I don't really, if I don't see this card, I don't lose, and if I see this card, I don't really it doesn't mean I win, but, then we get to the boss drops. We have 2 Enels and 2 7-drop Linlins. Enel, for the black matchup too, especially fighting Sakazuki, getting this pressure, getting a 7k swing with your 5k leader swing on curve is really nice. And it establishes a hard to remove body, because if you counter out of all their swings, they cannot pop this or bottom deck it easily. So they have to at least attack it and bottom deck it. But if you counter out of the attacks, it's safe.
So do you think moving forward in the meta with the new structure decks that just came out that actually run Luffy's in it, and an EB where purple Luffy might make a comeback, are you still going to run the Enel, or?
Nope, I will go to 4 Linlins.
Okay.
I believe Linlin is just so much stronger. And if you play these back to back, even just one is already crazy enough. Giving your opponent that choice to either give you the life or trash it is just so much pressure immensely, and you get an AK body.
True, and also the Enel's not really going to be as needed when Sakazuki is gone as well.
No, I definitely don't think Enel is going to be needed. You can maybe run the 1 of and 3 Linlin, but definitely run your 4 7-drops.
Okay.
So, but I think this right here is good, for at least for today's meta until we lose Sakazuki. Then here, 3 Katakuri. You can run this at 4, but I think 3 is perfect. Because you don't need it in every matchup. It's not your most like definitive way to heal. I love this into the Moria match, because if you remove that 8-drop Moria, it just, unless they have another one in hand, it makes that match more favorable towards you. And it has saved me every time into my Moria matches.
Nice, nice.
And also the chance to heal yourself and put your triggers in life.
And you said this is like the second best one, right? Like the second best boss drop?
Yes. Honestly, I would say 3rd. I think 7-drop is stronger.
Okay. And you can play 7-drop back to back too,
right,
which is nice.
So, but then that brings us to my personal favorite, which I think is the best boss drop in this deck. 4 Yamatos. Going into the future with Enel, I'm always going to rush down to 1 life. Just to get literally every time. I'm going to take every single hit you throw at me. I'm only going to counter out of if you attack my characters, keep my characters alive, take every hit to leader, just so Yamato gets most value. If this card doesn't pop a card, that's okay, as long as I heal. But if this card pops, I've had games into the Katakuri match where I don't swing at them and they're already at 7 life and I'm at 2, and I'll pop their 7-drops and their 8-drop Katakuris. And it just provides so much value, especially into the yellow mirror. So
nice, nice.
Best yellow card here.
Would you run that at 8 if you were allowed to?
This card?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'd run it at 12. Then we'll just go to our 2Ks and events. So for our 2Ks, we run 4 Hioris. I think that's pretty self-explanatory in any yellow deck now. 4 Satoris provides as a body as well if you get it off a life. Recently, I have not been using that trigger to summon it. And then 4 Beige. I think all these are pretty self-explanatory. Hiyori lets you stack your life, kind of. And if you're already at 1 life, since it can't go to bottom, there's a event here that only works when it's your last life. So if you rush to 1, you can put that event as your last life.
And you still get a double heal from that.
And a double heal for it, yeah.
So would you say she's the only one that's really playable, like from hand?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And that's another reason I run the Momonosuke, is at 7 Dawn, if I don't see my boss, I can play her, stack my life a little bit, and then play the Momo to put that back on my life.
Yeah, and she's a 2K, so she's good in hand.
So she's never bad. I think Yori's probably the best 2K in here besides the Beige. Satori is alright. I think having him as an attacking option is great, but I don't see myself using his effect as much as I should, or it just hasn't come up enough.
You value the 2K more?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll get to the events here.
So just the 12 2Ks?
Yeah, just the 12 2Ks.
Okay.
Pretty generic here. And then for events, we run 2 0 costs.
Yep.
This card is amazing. I would run it at 4, but kind of tight on space. 3 rejects while we still have them, and then 3 Amarus. All these are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You run a bunch of non-counter bosses, so running at least 2 of these is great. Amazing trigger, by the way, because for the price of 1 Amaru, if this is your last life, you get 2 life with Enel and this for 2 cards.
Yep. And the other 2 just like will end the game.
Yeah, reject is great. If your hand is kind of bricky and you get this off a trigger, the draw card is nice. KOing a 5 cost is also very relevant.
If you're patient, you can KO Sabos.
Yep, way to turn KO Sabo. Queens, everything. Just this hits a lot of good cards. Amaru, the 3k gain is already strong enough, but since I'm already rushing to 1 life, getting to rest of 4 costs like those Borsalinos and Rebecca's and all those like messy, sticky blockers that a black has, this card will win the black matchup.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, that's about it.
Well, thank you for showing off your first place profile.
Of course, of course.
If you guys have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Maybe we'll get a match in with this deck. We'll see.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.